Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of 1923 Main Street.
Home of the Disney Travel Podcast with the latest Disney travel news. We are your hosts.
I am Mike Bella Braddock.
And I'm Amelia Bella Braddock. And today, Tiana's Bayou Adventure closing date will soon come for Splash Mountain.
And in other news, Bob Iger seems to be having an impact, so let's jump right into this news. Tiana's in the news.
Yes, finally, we have an official closing date for Splash Mountain, that being January 23rd, 2023.
At Walt Disney World,
yes.
I might add.
Specific
this does not apply to Disneyland.
They're holding out a bit longer over there at the land. But this is exciting. We finally have a date and not just, this is the last time we're riding Splash Mountain.
Yes, Amelia was noting before the show, how many times have I said, all right, this is the last time I'm going to get to ride it. So we have...
So we're going at Christmas. This, I think, will be the fourth last ride of Splash Mountain.
I don't know if I'm going to go on unless it's really hot out. And it's probably going to be really busy now, and I don't want to get wet when it's cold, especially at night. But we'll see, unless it's the last ride of the night or something at the Christmas party. We will see, but you are welcome to take your last ride, and
my last ride.
My last ride would have been in August, so we'll see how it goes. But yes, January 23rd, they are shutting her down, and as we said, they have not announced anything for Disneyland yet, so West Coasters or West Coast visitors, you may have a little bit longer, unless they announce that next week. And the reopening dates for the new version are still not actually known other than 2024.
How much, which leads me to believe they're doing quite a bit of
I don't know, I was going to say the opposite. So the other news along with this was, I don't know, people made a big deal about it, but it really wasn't much. Oh, here's some more about what's going to happen. So here, all they said is there's going to be a new scene for the ride, and there's some brand new characters. Well, obviously, there's going to be brand new characters. And the new scene is said to be a thrilling moment when you first drop into the bayou and encounter some new friends.
Yeah, but so why is it taking a year then? Or almost 2 years if it's late 2024?
What I'm saying is I know they're going to redo it extensively inside, but I don't think they're going to change the actual course of the ride.
No, probably not.
Is what I was getting at. But yeah, they better change the scenery. So some of the new friends, they said, are critters, of course. So there's an otter, a rabbit, a raccoon, and a beaver, and a turtle. So in that sense, it's sort of similar to the way it is now with the, all the animal friends in the forest. And then Disney's hinted, they're trying to make this in a big tease. Oh, they're all going to play a bigger role later in the ride. So does that mean right before the drop? I don't know.
Who knows?
But they did say something about fireflies lighting up the night, inviting you deeper into the bayou. And the way they said it leads me to believe maybe it's a cool effect instead of just animatronics on the side that you watch, which is pretty much the way it is right now at Splash Mountain.
Well, it's decently old.
Yeah, I know. So, but listen. Decently new is Navi River Journey. It's still just the same thing. So we'll see if they actually have some cool new effects coming in there when the ride reopens.
It's interesting to me because now, is this still part of the mountain challenge?
I don't know. I don't think it will be. So they better build. You're right. So now there's just two mountains.
Yeah.
The third mountain is gone.
Yeah, and so if they were planning on building a fourth mountain, guys, time to step it up.
Because, there aren't mountains in the bayou, as far as I know.
Yeah.
It's pretty flat and swampy. So, unless they build Moana's Volcano Mountain in Adventureland, then it's going to be two mountains. Good point. The mountain challenge will be a lot easier to do now. Are you really going to go on this when we're there in a couple of weeks? Is this like a priority for you?
No comment.
Like, for me, I never loved Splash Mountain anyway. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, but it's leaving forever.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not that kind of Disney person. Like, I've noted in other things, I don't line up for hours for I love Disney, but for me, the magic is not lining up for popcorn buckets or
That's not the same
lining
thing.
up for Gideon's cookies. Like, I did laugh out loud at that line once people looked, because seriously.
It was longer than Flight of Passage.
Come on, lining up for a cookie. I'm sorry, Disney. If you're listening and you've done that, I'm sorry, but, you need to really think about what's important. But anyway, I digress. So no, it's not a big deal for me. I'll go with a new one when it opens. Just maybe I'll like it better. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Anyway, that's the news around Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And the other stories this week are sort of side stories relating to Bob Iger's return. Now, the first one's pretty interesting because, as we know, Universal's Epic Universe is a big deal. It's a whole new park, and it's opening soon. And, is Disney doing anything? Are we getting a fourth gate? Are we doing anything? Well...
A fourth gate?
A fifth gate. There's some interesting news this week.
Yes, so it seems that Bob Iger, or the Disney Company, has calls for spending $6.3 billion.
Yeah,
so I don't know about you, but that seems like a lot of money.
This is. So let's put this in perspective in the parks in particular. So since his return, it looks like they may seriously be upping their game when it comes to what they're doing in the theme parks.
Well, that's what I want.
And new builds, right? So
come on, Bob.
Yeah, there's been several media stories about this SEC filing. So the Securities and Exchange Commission, if you're going to do a huge capital expenditure, which basically means building, you file notice with because this could affect the stock price and so on. Anyway, the Walt Disney Company has put the SEC on notice. They intend to spend next year, 2023, $6.3 billion. Now, just to put this in perspective, they spent 4 point something when they did Galaxy's Edge. So this is a lot of money. And the first thing that came to me was, hey, remember all that cool stuff in D23?
Yeah.
Villains Park, building the whole Madrigal house area, all that really cool stuff. Not Villains Park, but Villains area inside the Magic Kingdom.
Sounds to me like a new mountain.
Yeah, because could Bob Iger, who did oversee Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land and other things like that, could this be a little inkling that is what to come?
Perhaps. I mean, I hope so.
What would you most like to see from all those things? We covered after D23. There was a lot,
Villains.
Yeah, Villains, me too. I would love to see. And Villains is cool because it came with Madrigal and there was another thing back there. Coco, that's right. Coco, Madrigal, and Villains all inside Magic Kingdom.
The crowd's reaction when they said Villains, though, was... It should have been an inkling for them that that's what people want.
Yeah, it was a huge, probably one of the biggest ovations of all D23. And it's funny, afterwards, I'm active on social media and I see some people going, oh, another D23 with no big news. And I'm thinking, are you kidding? So you did not, whoever said that did not pay attention. Because for me, it was the biggest news in years out of D23. So that's pretty cool.
Still want a fifth gate.
It's possible they don't, that they don't spend that money. But usually when they give SEC notice, they're going to spend money. They're going to spend money. And those are the only things that they talked about. They had mock-ups for, and so, hey, my guess would be some of these things are going to be coming our way. We've already got Tron basically near opening, so it's not that. This is new money. Keep our fingers crossed that Bob Iger is trying to right the ship.
What do you think the odds are that Disney's just secretly building a fifth gate? And then one day they're going to be like, hey guys, it's open in 1 month. Book your tickets.
With satellite and drones nowadays, 0. You can't hide that stuff anymore.
Well, that's no fun.
Like you could in the 1970s.
$6.3 billion, they probably could.
Yeah, so that's true. They'd have to build a cloaking device from above that just made it look like Florida forest or swamp or wherever they're doing. Anyway, I would rather hope it's some of these things that they talked about at D23 and that he's trying to right the ship.
And that's a bit more realistic.
And then all the other stuff that you want. I saw other people saying they want Fast Pass back.
I want Fast Pass back. Everyone wants Fast Pass back.
That's what I said in the first place. Just keep it the way it was.
If you want money...
And make us pay for it. That's fine.
If you want money, fine. I understand that. But why did you have to change all of this nonsense?
Overly
this is
complicated.
Ridiculous.
I know they were trying to move crowds around and this and that, but I think it's even overly complicated from them. Their Disney tech, which is great. I was watching some documentaries on this, actually does cause them more headaches behind the scenes. It doesn't run as smoothly always as we think it does for them. So,
and I think the thing is also theoretically, this way you can get on more rides, but realistically, maybe you get on the rides, but now you're just standing around doing nothing for hours.
Yeah, and I think their intent was, you'll be standing around shopping or reading.
But you can only spend so much money.
Yeah, that's not what's happening. But anyway... Maybe he'll bring back annual passes. I would like that at Disney World.
Come on, Bob. Come on.
And speaking of Bob, listen, he has some goodwill that this will affect Disney travelers because it could have had a negative impact, and now there's been a switch.
So originally, the state of Florida had said that they were going to be dismantling Disney's private government.
Yeah, the Reedy
Creek. The Florida government in likely retaliation for them not following the Don't Say Gay bill. However, now Bob Iger has some promising news.
Yeah, it's interesting. So Financial Times ran a story and it said Florida lawmakers and DeSantis may be looking to reverse their plans that would have seen, as Amelia just said, Disney
who saw that coming?
Stripped of its right to operate its own private government, which it's had for years. And Bob Iger may be the reason why. He made a comment that really was well-crafted. This is why he's good, right? The way he can say things. Now, he was also really critiquing the bill on the outside when Chapek was saying nothing. So you could argue that he started the problem, but he didn't hesitate either. He stood up for it. But he said recently, what I can say is the state of Florida has been important to us for a long time, and we have been very important to the state of Florida. That is something I'm extremely mindful of and will articulate when I get the chance. So a nice comment like that gives Florida's government and DeSantis a sort of an opening to say, all right, let's try and figure something out.
But also, I think it's pretty clear who really started the problem.
Well, yeah, there was much bigger problems all wrapped up into that. Are you referring to our most recent past chairman, CEO?
I'm not. I'm just saying, staying silent doesn't. They posted something on social media that was very clear. It wasn't one person's fault. Anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, all in all, this is good news for the Disney traveler. Negative impacts would have been felt in some way, shape, or form, whether it meant more cutbacks or all that. So it's just another sticky mess we don't need at Walt Disney World. We have enough sticky messes right now to work through. I know Iger has a huge list to deal with, but listen.
I'm really sorry. Everyone's like, oh my God, Bob Iger's our savior. It's like, yes,
well, I have
but
to
just give him a minute. This stuff does take time.
Yeah.
So don't expect any immediate drastic changes. It does seem like some good stuff is in the works.
And we do want him to be thoughtful about it. And he, I'm sure actually as stuff was happening on the outside, he was thinking, no, Bob, don't do that. Bob, 1, 2, 3, the BC. Let's call him BC and BI.
I'm sorry. Is this like Spider-Man No Way Home all over again?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, these two stories are about Bob Iger this week are good stories to sort of indicate that he will have a positive influence, which should be no doubt. I think it was 15 years or something running Disney the last go-around. So.
And in all my 14 years of existence, I've thought it was pretty good.
I did read one comment somewhere. I can't remember where, so I can't attribute it. But someone said, Bob Iger's biggest challenge of all will be to find the next Bob Iger. And I think it could have been Tom Staggs. Unfortunately, he left the company. I liked him a lot. But anyway, Chapek, unfortunately, was not that person. So
he could always come back.
Iger now will right the ship. And yeah, you never know. Iger came back. Who knows, right? We'll see. Anyway, good news this week all around. No bad news stories for once, so that's good. So that's all the news for this week. We thank you, as always, for listening. Follow along online on social media at 1923 Main Street. Reach out, say hello. We like to hear from you, and we respond to everybody. So have a magical day, everyone.
Bye-bye.